What is up, everybody? It is Drew, Travel of the Burning Abyss, here with another video. And today, as I've kind of talked about in the last couple of videos, I'm going to start doing more Time Wizard based content, and this is kind of where I'm going to start things off. I know I've posted some GOAT format and some Edison format stuff in the past, but I'm going to do a lot more of it because I enjoy it. So right now I have an Edison deck profile that I want to show off for my personal favorite deck in Edison format, that being Gladiator Beasts. I love this deck so much. It's so cool, so much fun to play, for me anyways. I know everyone always hates playing against Gladiator Beasts, but it's a really, really cool deck. The tag out thing is just kind of interesting to me. It makes me think of Cosmos a little bit, or Cosmos make me think of Gladiator Beasts, whichever way you want to look at it. But I'm going to go ahead and jump on in and showcase this deck profile for Edison format. So per usual, we will start with the main deck, starting things off with 3 copies of Test Tiger. Card's really, really good. Just, trigger your GB effects. That's fantastic. Then we have 2 Laquari. You don't really need 3. 2 is typically perfectly fine. 2 Darius. I think Darius at 2 is perfect as well. 1 Aquest. I'm not doing the Icarus attack build with 3 Aquest. I'm just doing 1 Aquest. 1 Bestiari, 1 Hopalomus, 1 Murmillo, 1 Sam Knight, and 1 Rediari. I think for the most part that's kind of fairly standard. I haven't seen lists that go drastically far away from that. So those are all of the GB names. And then 1 Rescue Cat, because Rescue Cat's really good. You summon Cat, you sack it to summon out Sam Knight and the Test Tiger, and then you can Test Tiger tribute to, do your GB stuff. So Cat is pretty darn good. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop on over to the spells now. So we play 3 Book and 3 Shrink. This is really, really good in Glad Beasts, like ridiculously good. So I think that you should probably play 3 and 3 of this. Book Moon's really good because if you summon anything and they try and bottomless it, you can just set the monster and then it's fine. Same thing like against a D prison. It's also good if you want to book your opponent's monster that has too high of an attack. That way you can just attack a defense position monster, and then your GBs don't die by battle because it's attack versus defense. And then you can do your shuffling after, which is really good. And then Shrink obviously helps you just win battles for free. So yeah, card's pretty bonkers. Then I play 2 Proving Ground. I was playing a list before that I was kind of trying out with no Test Tigers and no Rescue Cat and just more GB names. So I ended up playing 3 of this in that list, but I didn't really like it as much. I think Test Tiger plus Rescue Cat is really good. So I opted to bump this up to 2 and put the Tigers and the Cat back in. I think 2 of this is fine. If you want to cut it to 1, you can. But yeah, I think that, you want to be able to see GBs at the minimum. And then back row removal, we have MST, Heavy, and Trunade. Heavy is very debatable in this deck. It's just like Torrential Tribute. I'm not playing Torrential in here, but it's kind of like the 40th slot in the deck where it's okay, what do I want to play? Do I want to play a Heavy? Do I want to play a Torrential? Do I want to play something else? Trunade is fine, doesn't hurt your deck at all. This card's perfectly fine in the deck. And then MST is obviously, MST. But there's a lot of back row, so Heavy, you have to time it well. But turn 1, if you're going your turn 1, let's say you're going second, and your opponent sets a few back row, you can Heavy them and then do your GB stuff and then set your back row afterwards. So Heavy's not a bad card. It is a good card. It does help you out a lot. Moving on to the traps though, 3 copies of Dimensional Prison. Card is really, really good, ridiculously good. Definitely play 3 of this in GBs. 2 Chariot. I don't think you need to main deck 3 of this. 2 is perfectly fine. 2 Bottomless, because hit them Black Wings and hit them Hero Beat stuff. 2 Compulse. Compulse is actually pretty solid. yeah, I like this card. I also really like the quarter centuries from Rarity Collection. I'm gonna be probably upgrading a few things in here and getting some more quarter centuries to kind of make everything here look a little bit nicer, a little more high rarity. So yeah, Compulse is cool. Then I play 2 Starlight Road and Judgment. I was going with a Dark Bride before too, but I wanted to have more backer removal, so that's why the Heavy Storm is in there. If you want, you can cut the Heavy Storm for Dark Bribe. That way you have more ways to just stop your back row from getting blown out. But if you play the deck like properly, you shouldn't worry too much about your back row getting blown out. You should be okay. And then Call the Haunted, because like bringing back GB names sometimes can be really helpful. Mirror Force, like I don't have to explain that. And then Dust Shoot, like this is kind of standard for GBs. That is the main deck though. I'm gonna hop on over to the extra deck now. All right, so extra deck, starting with our GB monsters, 3 Gyzarus, that's kind of obvious. Yeah, card's busted. Just gotta slide this over a little bit. There we go. 3 Heraclinos, also like kind of standard because your extra deck isn't used like that much. So playing the 3 and 3 is fine. Gyzarus can, like you can technically summon this 3 times in a game. Usually Heraclinos, you summon like 1 and you probably win off of 1. Then 3 Chimera Tech. This is just a card. We do side deck Cyber Dragon, so it's not like it's useless, but it's a card. 3 Stardust, Starlight Road, really good. So yeah, you gotta play it. 1 Brio, 1 Goyo, and then Black Rose. These don't really come up, but they're in here. they never come up, but they're here. So yeah, that's the extra deck. Pretty standard. You know, you're basically gonna be summoning mostly Gyzarus. That's really what gets hit on the board most. And yeah, cards like ridiculously good. So let's go ahead and hop on over to the side deck now so you can see what we're putting in for like games 2 and 3 most of the time. All right, so the side deck, I'm gonna kind of go through this somewhat quickly, but I will explain some stuff. 2 Cyber Dragon, I know I mentioned that we're already playing it, but card's really good against a lot of decks, so you gotta side it in. 1 Grand Mole, this can definitely come up in some really simplified game states. It's also, you know, like just a decent card overall, and Glad Beast, so gotta play that 1. 2nd Rediari, this is great against anything that's super graveyard reliant. I already have the 1 in the main, but I figure siding another 1 is probably a decent idea. And I've been seeing people do that a little bit more lately, so I wanted to give it a shot. Then 2 Noblemen and a My Body. So I want to bring this up too. I was gonna play DD Crows, but I kind of changed it up because I was thinking about it, and I'm like, we already have 2 Rediari, like that's pretty solid as it is. So I shouldn't have, you know, that many problems. So I think it's working out perfectly fine so far, but there obviously will always be an argument to play Crow. But anyways, I have hollows of these. They're just in my goat stuff. But Nobleman's really good against anything that sets a lot, and then My Body is good against stuff that, you know, destroys a lot. So cards are solid. Then 2 Trap Stun, 2 Dust Tornado for more back row removal. I think that the Trap Stun is really good because it just kind of shuts your opponent off for a turn, but the Dust Tornado is also like really important because like it out suppression. Granted, Trap Stun out suppression for a turn. With Dust Tornado, like you just get it off the board, which like it's Edison format, you're not OTKing with Glad Beast. So you probably want to get that oppression off the board, and Dust Tornado definitely does that for you. So I thought that those were solid choices. Then I always play these cards in Edison in some way, shape, or form. 2 Light Imprisoning and 2 Shadow Imprisoning. I just think that these cards are so good, and like it's like, why wouldn't you try and play them against, you know, decks that kind of die to them? Like this is obviously amazing against dark decks, and it's obviously amazing against light decks. And that's a good chunk of Edison format is light and dark decks. You flip this against, you know, light swarms, against fairies, anything like that, and they're gonna struggle. You flip this against like black wings, zombies, like it's gonna do something to them. So it's worth playing. So I think that these cards are phenomenal. I win so many games off of flipping these, like it's absolutely nuts. Like literally you can flip this against Vayu and then their Vayu does nothing in the graveyard. Like that's insane. And then same thing with this, like attack through like a Shining Angel or a Nova Summoner and they don't get to summon anything. So like your floaters are dead. Like really good. So yeah, I do like to play these cards. I think they're fantastic. I think that they do quite the job against the decks that they do hurt. So that's the entirety of the deck for right now. Like I said, there are some things that I have thought about changing. I'm not sure if I'm going to change yet, but yeah, deck's really fun, super enjoyable. If you like, you know, a very resource managing kind of deck, like you have to really manage things well with this. It's very easy to slip up and make mistakes with a deck like this. So it's definitely very skill intensive, but going forward, I think it's the deck that I'm just going to continue playing. There's a few Edison decks that I really enjoy playing, you know, and for whatever reason, they're like super control based for the most part. Like Machina, Gadget, and Glad Beasts are probably my two favorite Edison decks. Don't get me wrong, I can play a lot of other stuff. I love zombies too. Zombies are cool. I have everything for Black Wings. I have pretty much everything for Vayu Turbo, but for whatever reason, it's just I enjoy Glad Beasts and I enjoy Machina Gadgets, and I've done well with gadgets before, so like I'm not gonna put them to the side if it's working. But if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more Edison content, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you can see more awesome and cool videos like the one you just watched. And for right now, this is Drew, Traveler of the Burning Abyss, signing out.